from Asheville, North Carolina, presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Coach Joe Gibbs offers our invocation.
Let's pray. Father, we want to thank you. We serve an all-powerful, all-knowing, all-loving God. You made each one of us special and different, and you want to have a personal relationship with each one of us, and you sent your Son so that we would have a pass back to you. We want to thank you for tonight. Most people around the world never get to experience a night like tonight. We thank you for the fact we live in a country where we have freedom of choice and we can experience a night like tonight. And that is truly just a gift from you. We pray for all of our armed forces fighting around the world. And Father, we just want to say a big thanks and thank you for loving us. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Cassidy Pope.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets break glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Let's hear it one more time for Cassidy.
A spirited rendition. The driver's ready to take center stage and go 190 miles per hour, covering 165 miles for $1 million.
Doing uncommon deeds for all of us. We owe great respect
You're watching Fox Sports Live All-Star Saturday Night, the 31st edition of the Sprint All-Star Race. 20 drivers in the 31st edition, back inside our studio trackside the Hollywood Hotel with Michael Waltrip, Chris Myers. It was fun out there. Great job with Steve Burns' son, Bryson. It was a great scene with the drivers and all that cast, creating new memories, a lot of memories for Bryson. Let's look at some of the All-Star memories in the past. I know fans remember when this was the Winston, and it was a different deal. But Darrell Waltrip in 1985 winning the inaugural race.
And then Dale Earnhardt making the pass in the grass, and Waltrip getting spun around by Rusty Wallace, and his crews go to fighting.
And then in 1992, one hot night.
Oh, and there's nothing memories better than 1996.
You won this thing from the transfer position. Of course, the T-Rex scheme with Jeff Gordon back in 97. Dale Earnhardt Jr. winning as a rookie at his first All-Star race. His father was there. The feud with Joe Gibbs Racing, Carl winning and wrecking in that 99 Ford. That was Carl Edwards, now, of course, at a Toyota, looking for his first win of the year, and a great scene. What kind of memory will we see tonight as we welcome back Kyle Busch and say so long to Jeff Gordon?
There's just so many smiles that were created tonight on pit road with Bryson. That was magical. But I'm telling you, what this race is going to be about is determination. Kyle Busch determined to show the world that he's ready to win. And can he do it tonight in a Toyota? Joe Gibbs Racing nor Toyota has won this race. I think Kyle has a good shot at doing that.
As successful as Brad Keselowski has been, he's been a champion. He has not been able to win this race. Is it a style thing? We're only talking about 110 laps here, right? Going 190 miles an hour. Are some drivers more suited for this than the normal standard? Mile and a half, we know that Harvick and Jimmy Johnson have dominated.
Well, I talked on the grid walk. Kurt Busch is my favorite. He has a really fast car, and he's got the temperament and the personality to win this thing. Brad does too. Brad's a crazy racer. He knows how to run for championships, but he also knows how to battle for wins.
Kyle Busch at his 10th All-Star race. There's Brad Keselowski, and of course Kyle looking for his first All-Star win along with Brad Keselowski. We'll be here to watch with you before we send it upstairs. The fireworks are going off. The fans are enjoying the moment. Let's head back trackside to hear the words we love to hear on All-Star Saturday Night.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, chef, restaurateur, and host of Food Network's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, Guy Fieri.
Drivers, start your engines!
And our All-Stars in the booth, the 15th straight year, taking you through what will be a wild and unpredictable night. Darrell Waltrip, Larry McReynolds, and Mike Joy.
Thanks, Chris. I think that was a 10,000 calorie command right there. When they created the Winston in 1985, Darrell, that was just your kind of race. No points, no problem, big money.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm like these drivers. Look, the pre-race show was fun. I enjoyed every minute of it, but I'm ready to get this race started, man. I came over here to try to win $1 million. Not only $1 million, but the bragging rights. That's really what it's always been about. Special cars, special motors. Guys are going to put a special effort behind the wheel. I can't wait to see what happens. Be very unpredictable, I promise.
Well, nobody remembers who finishes second. Okay, Kevin Harvick did last year, but nobody remembers. So, Larry, this final pit stop is going to be pivotal, and the entry onto pit road depends on your average finish in 4 segments. How much are crew chiefs going to tracking that statistic as we go through the night?
Yeah, I think so much is going to be dictated by what my driver's telling me how that car is driving and where we're running. What we've seen all weekend, you want 4 fresh Goodyear tires every time you come to pit road under caution. But drivers like Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, they may have to pull some strategy and do 2 tires to try to get that track position to improve that average finish.
I got just a little pin-up aggression. I got to get rid of it. Can we drop the green flag?
He's got a lot of pent-up aggression, and we're gonna spend some of it tonight. Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night, the Sprint All-Star Race. Next, right here on Fox Sports 1. Last night in the Sprint Showdown, the restarts were awesome. They were 3 wide all the way around the track. This is going to be one fun NASCAR Sprint Cup All-Star Race. 31st annual running, 30 of them here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And there are the 20 cars aligned on the starting grid and ready to roll off. Everyone making their way back behind the pit wall after a fun-filled driver introduction. And let's have a look at the Geico starting grid for the Sprint All-Star Race. Denny Hamlin won the pole for tonight, and Greg Biffle, who transferred up and out of the Sprint Showdown last night. Brad Keselowski, the 2012 champion, will start third, and Clint Boyer, who transferred up from last night's tilt, row number 2. Casey Kane, the 2008 winner, and Danica Patrick, the 2-time fan vote winner, but an engine change will send her to the back. Dale Earnhardt Jr., NASCAR's most popular driver and the 2000 winner. and Eric Almirola, whose July Daytona win put him in the All-Star race. 4-time series champ, 3-time All-Star winner Jeff Gordon, and championship runner-up Carl Edwards. Joey Logano, the Daytona 500 winner, and Jimmy Johnson, 4 times an All-Star champion. That's the record. A.J. Allmendinger, last year's Watkins Glen winner, and the defending All-Star champ Jamie McMurray. Tony Stewart, 3-time Cup champion and 2009 winner, with Kurt Busch, the 2004 champion. Matt Kenseth, the 2003 champ with 32 career wins, and Ryan Newman, All-Star winner in 2002. Then Kyle Busch, 29 career victories in the series, and Kevin Harvick, the defending Sprint Cup champion.
What do you say we talk to Kyle Busch? Kyle Busch, it's the DW. You got a copy there, my friend?
Yeah, DW right here, man. Long time.
All right, buddy. On behalf of Fox Sports 1, all your fans, we've been waiting for this night, buddy. Welcome back. Good to see you back in that 18 M&M's car.
I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's good to be back. Happy that I could make the return here in Charlotte, close to home, and close to home for Samantha also. So we're just excited all around here this week to get back behind the wheel, have some fun tonight, hopefully learn some things, and get prepared for the rest of the year here.
Yeah, buddy, what is your comfort level in the car, Kyle? How are you feeling out there?
Well, besides just having to get used to a new seat, everything else feels pretty comfortable, So, steering wheel, footwork, all that stuff, that feels good. It's just a matter of trying to feel out what the seat's all about and whatnot. So we'll just fight through that and make sure if we got to make any changes to it, we will, and get ready for the long haul next week.
All right, my friend. Well, again, welcome back. Have a great night. You got your work cut out for you, and good luck. Maybe we'll talk to you when this thing is over with.
Yeah, that sounds real good. I appreciate it. I was going for it all, and obviously all was too much. So we'll fight through here, and we got some good company back here too. We got the 4 with us. We got the 20 and the 41 also. So no harm, no foul.
Going for it all. That's who you are, brother. I'd be disappointed if it's any less.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get down to pit road for late breaking stories, beginning with Matt Yoakum.
Mike, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew chief Greg Ives' toughest critic isn't his driver. It's actually his 8-year-old daughter, Peyton. Now, she was less than thrilled with a 7th place starting spot, but Greg assured her plenty of speed in the race car. His concern, though, is the fact that they're in that bubble area as far as strategy goes. And by the way, a little message from Mr. H. He told Dale Jr. moments ago, take no prisoners. Jamie Little?
Well, Jeff Gordon is making his 22nd and final appearance in the All-Star race. What a moment it was in pre-race. He was with all of his team, his family, and even his former crew chief, Ray Evernham. He told me just a couple hours ago he was still shaking from qualifying for this race, but now it's all about these guys. It's all about winning for the team. Chris Neville?
Well, Kevin Harvick has finished first or second in the last 7.5-mile tracks, but tonight it's very different. 4 25-lap segments, and he's starting in the back of the pack. Talking with his crew chief Rodney Childers, he said for him to start near the front of that final segment, he's going to have to be 7th or better after this first segment. Mike?
Well, they're already running the numbers and doing the math for where they have to be. Let's have a look at our Polaris hardest working pit crew. We told you he wasn't the fastest driver onto pit road, but he had the best first lap in qualifying. And Denny Hamlin's Joe Gibbs Racing number 11 team had the fastest pit stop of all during All-Star race qualifying just a little bit ago, getting him out of there in under 13 seconds with 4 new tires and the pole. Well done. The Toyota Camry paces the field for the Sprint All-Star race. The car preparation rules for the All-Star race are just like any other Sprint Cup Series event. But special race, special rules. Our Fox NASCAR rules analyst, Andy Petrie.
Yeah, Mike, you're right. The rules are the same for the cars, and really the race procedure rules are the same here tonight too, but there are some special rules in place for this event, and that is the one that comes at the end of the 4th segment, and that's when the teams will actually line up by their average finish of those first 4 segments as they enter pit road, and then they'll they'll actually line up for the last 10 laps the way they exit after their pit stops. And then those last 10 laps, they're all green flag laps. None of the caution laps will count, so we'll get all 10 of those under green, which that's a little different than normal, but it sure is exciting.
4 25-lap heats and a 10-lap shootout. Sounds like short track Saturday night, but it's the Sprint All-Star Race.
You're watching the Sprint All-Star Race on Fox Sports 1.
Green flag coming next time by at Charlotte Motor Speedway, built in 1960 at 1.5 miles. A quad oval, so all those front stretch seats would have a good view of the 24-degree banking in the turns, 5 degrees on the straightaway. It's a beautiful night north of Charlotte, North Carolina, with a light breeze. We're ready to go in this 5-segment all-star race. 25 laps each in the first 4 segments, and the best average finish of each segment will determine the order in which they come down pit road under caution for a mandatory 4th tire stop before the final 10 green flag laps. Danica Patrick, engine change, goes to the rear. Why are they all stars? Because this group of 20 drivers have between them won 498 Sprint Cup races, 20% of all the races this series has run in its history.
Look here, Mike, Larry, I want y'all to help me out tonight, okay? Let's do it together. 1, 2. We ain't never done that. What do you say? It's all-star night. It's special.
Let's do it.
What do you say? Boys are coming. The boys are coming. Let's get ready. Let's get ready. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. Oh, you are great. Good job.
No reverse gear for Denny Hamlin on that start. He took off.
This is a big deal for him. He wants to win this first segment.
Brad Keselowski slides the deuce into second. Ryan fast around the outside. Woo. Second place. Not Keselowski's anymore. Jimmy Johnson.
But back in the pack, they are 3 wide in that 28 degrees of banking.
Boy, Larry, I tell you, that Biffle car, that 16 car, he won the race last night, and he's going somewhere. That thing is hooked up.
And he is using that high line, especially down in turn 1 and 2.
I think what you'll find 1 and 2 maybe high, and then 1 and 3 and 4 kind of maybe run the bottom. It's always been pretty fast on the bottom, particularly on new tires. You see Greg lose a lot of time when he goes high in 3 and 4.
Casey Kane to third. Past Keselowski, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. moves up to fifth.
Well, don't forget, the crew chief on that 5 car is the guy that won this thing last year, Keith Rodden.
Kane keeps coming, looking for second.
This is a Casey Kane type of a race, though. Short runs.
But you know why? Think about last night. He won the truck race here last night in a photo finish. I tell you, he comes over here. Mr. Hendrick builds a fire under his drivers. He built a fire under that Casey Kane car and Casey.
He beat 18-year-old Eric Jones, who we're going to see in this all-star race before too many years.
I believe he built the fire under Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 88 car because he's on the move.
There's places. This is a house that the Hendrick team has built over the last several years.
Whoa, 3 wide.
Jimmy Johnson's won $5.5 million in this race, twice of what anybody else has won.
Careful.
I like that. Careful. You make a good spotter, Mike. Whoa, whoa.
In and out.
Like I said.
In and out. Outside clear.
In and out. I know he ain't talking
That's
hamburger.
no burger,
he ain't talking
no.
hamburgers either.
Kevin Harvick had to roll out of the throttle when all that was happening and lost some momentum there.
How's our man Kyle doing back here?
He's
started
hard
in
at
the
work.
back.
Started 19th, up to 17th, going for 16th against teammate Matt Kenseth.
Remember, these are the first laps that Kyle Busch has run in this Sprint Cup car this year.
But the driver that's on the move is Kurt Busch in that 41 car. He started back in the 16th position. He's already up to the 7th spot. Look at him just drive away from Joey Logano in that group.
Well, they're going to have to get some hurry because I tell you, Denny Hamlin is checked out on the field right now. Look, that's a pretty big interval right there from first to second back to Casey Kane. Hamlin's going somewhere, man. He's fast. 28.15 is his fast lap.
So is Dale Earnhardt Jr. He is 4th. He has broken away from 5th place Brad Keselowski and is chasing down Greg Biffle.
Yeah, I believe old Junebug had him a couple of Mountain Dews before this baby started tonight.
Every position counts because it's your average finish in the first 4 segments that determines the order onto pit road just before segment 5.
Yeah, I mean, that could be back in the pack here. You know, we're talking 7, 8, 9, 10th. You pass a couple of cars right at the end right here. It could pay off big for you when the night's over with.
10th place. Last year's All-Star winner Jamie McMurray against 4-time winner Jimmy Johnson. Pair of Chevrolets dueling.
Tell you right now, Casey Kane is closing fast on Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, he chopped 3/10 off that lap. You can see right there that gap's not near as wide as it was about 3 laps ago.
Heck no. Larry, you think running that truck race last night, you think they maybe helped him with this 5 car at all, or maybe it's just him more laps on the track?
I just think Casey Kane loves Charlotte Motor Speedway. Last night was his 6th win at this place in some shape, form, or fashion.
The gap is down to half a second. First to second, 2.5 back to Greg Biffle. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. filling up Biffle's mirror.
Yeah, Kane right now is a good 2-3 quicker a lap. He's closing fast on Denny Hamlin. He's going to catch him before he gets another lap.
Jeff Gordon has gained 3 spots since the start of this one, but now he's under fire from Kurt Busch, who has come all the way from 16th to 6th.
That's impressive.
Very.
That'll help the average.
His lap times are good even when he's passing another driver.
Yeah, he's in the league with our leaders. He's probably one of the only cars, maybe Logano, that are running similar lap times to our leaders.
A little trash on the grill of Dale Jr.'s car.
That is a pretty common theme for that 88.
Isn't that
we even
amazing?
saw it at Kansas last week.
Isn't that amazing? He won Daytona in 2 years ago with trash on the grill. He won the race this year with trash on the grill.
You'll see why one of the most revered names in NASCAR trusts the most winning name in NASCAR. Go to Chevy.com/Dale Jr.
I told Brad Paisley, I said, we need to write a song called Trash on the Grill. I think we ought to do that.
What?
We'll get Dale Jr. to sing it.
That just has so many meanings I can't imagine.
He was talking about something in the trunk. I said, man, we got to get up on the grill.
Casey Kane ran Denny Hamlin down to within a half a second, but now their lap times, as we're about halfway through this first segment, it's kind of stabilized.
Well, don't you think maybe Denny Hamlin is thinking about if he, I'm going to keep him at bay. I'll let him close a little bit. Now I'm going to pick the pace up and keep him back there.
Big lead does nothing for you.
No, it doesn't. All I want to do is win just by a little wee bit. I want to go just fast enough to win.
But this happened last night in the Sprint Showdown, the two 20-lap qualifiers, last chance qualifiers for this race. Once we got to this point in each segment, the lead gap kind of stabilized for a while.
Boy, I tell you right now, Casey Kane took it high in 1 and 2, and man, did he pick up straightaway speed. Woo!
Dale Jr. trying to get up close enough to Greg Biffle that the air would take that trash from his grill. Not yet. Meanwhile, at the front.
Got a battle, boys.
Here comes Kane.
I don't think it's going to last too long either, because that 5 he's there.
Yeah, look at the run he gets up on the high side right against the wall. He'll take the lead coming off too.
Yes, sir. That's where he really picked up all his speed, Larry, when he moved up high.
All clear.
And he started using that high line off the 2. Man, did he pick up.
From 5th on the grid to 1st for Casey Kane. Coming around to 10 laps to go in segment 1.
Pretty impressive right there, the way he drove by Denny Hamlin, and now he's just driving off and leaving him. Casey Kane he's in a hurry.
And Darrell, we saw the same thing in the showdown last night. We have 10 laps to go in this first segment. They've already lost over a second on the stopwatch and still with 10 laps to go.
But don't you think that makes it pretty easy, Larry? I mean, you're going to need 4 tires.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
3rd place. Earnhardt getting close.
He's still trying to get that trash off the grill.
And now looking for the spot because company's coming in the form of Keselowski, and that worked.
We're good there.
She's clean and green now.
It's gone. It's gone. Good job. Clear by 5. It is gone.
Now pick up your average. Help your average here.
10th place. McMurray and Johnson still battling. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. moves up into 3rd.
Yeah, you saw Biffle just get a little bit loose right there as Jr. was going by, and it let Jr. have enough room to get right up in front of him and make the pass.
And that seemed to be the same situation with Greg Biffle last night. The Hamlin started, even though he won that first segment, it started going away after about 15 laps.
Brad Keselowski closing on Biffle now. And working the bottom.
Yeah, and what I've always found here is that the bottom of 3 and 4 seems to be the best if you can run down there like that, and then the kind of high line in 1 and 2, because you can get such a tremendous run off of turn 2 when you run up high next to the wall.
A very uncharacteristic night for Jimmy Johnson. He started 12th. He battled McMurray for lap after lap and has finally fought his way to 10th, but that's a gain of only 2 spots.
He will be there before the night's over.
I just don't know if these short races fit that 48 car this year. You think about Atlanta and you think about Kansas, a lot of places where he wasn't that competitive until about halfway through one of the longer races. So they got to work on their short run car tonight.
Boy, Brad Keselowski in that too. Look at the run he got through the middle of the corner, and Biffle continues to get looser and looser from the center off.
Yep.
They're about to have a bigger problem. Kurt Busch has caught that threesome of Earnhardt, Keselowski, and Biffle's in the wall. Greg Biffle bounced it off the wall coming off turn 4.
Yeah, a lot of
Kurt
damage.
Busch goes on by.
A lot of damage.
And Kurt Busch just charging. He had to start further back tonight because of a slow pit stop in qualifying. But that car very good. Just right now, a little bit tight in the center. Jamie?
Jeff Gordon said he didn't know what he was going to have as far as car until he got in the race. Now he's saying once they're in it, they are super tight. Can't drive it in the corner and can't touch the gas. Watch for the 24 to pit next, Matt.
It's been very quiet from the cockpit of the 5 of Casey Kane. His team, though, telling him his line looks good and he's smooth. He hasn't said anything about the bounce. Meanwhile, the 11 of Denny Hamlin, he lost that lead, says the car a little more on the free side than he would like.
The only car faster than Kane that last lap, Dale Earnhardt Jr. by half a tenth.
And Mike, you think about the 2 mile-and-a-half Kings, the 4 and the 48. They've won all the mile-and-a-half races. They're running 10th and 11th right now, going really nowhere fast. And they've dominated the mile-and-a-half racetracks.
Clint Boyer, who started 4th, battling Jimmy Johnson for 9th. 3 laps to go to the end of segment 1.
Kevin Harvick is not far back from this battle right here, sitting back there in the 11th spot.
Now they have closed pit road. That is so that no driver toward the back would pit under green and gain an advantage when everybody else pits under caution. Twice more around Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we'll be done with segment 1.
A bunch of these guys are going to be happy to get back in the pits because there's some evil cars out there right now. See a bunch of them. We saw Greg Biffle. I just saw Clint Boyer just about hit the wall off turn 4, fighting with his car.
I tell you who has both hands and feet up on that steering wheel right now is Kurt Busch in that 41 car. He's trying to get every spot that he can right now, working on Keselowski for 4th.
Hey guys, what do you think the possibility, we saw how important Ford tires were last night in the showdown races. What do you think the possibilities that Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, and those guys are just pacing themselves, knowing that they started this race in a hole and will only get 2 tires during this first caution, or maybe not even pit at all, try to get that track position? They've got to help their average.
Now, Michael, I think they'll pit, but I think you're spot on right there, and we talked about that at the top of the show, that starting as deep in the field as they had to start, they're going to have to do something to get some track position.
Greg Biffle off the wall again.
Yeah,
Way to hang on to it there.
super duper damage that time. Whole right side caved in.
He will fall to 8th, and Casey Kane will win segment 1. It's the 4th time that Kane has led at the end of a segment, including 3 of the last 5.
Back it down, caution's out. Let's watch Biffle come off turn 4 here. This has been his Achilles heel tonight. You see he gets loose, chase it, and then it snaps and bam, hits it hard.
The first time was just a brush with the wall. Yeah, that was pretty hard hit.
Yeah, he got the right rear the first time. Didn't seem to do too much damage. That time he got the front and the rear. Pretty serious damage. Now, Larry, we're going to see some games played.
Yeah, and we're seeing also drivers trying to save fuel. The Sunoco fuel window here is about 48 to 52 laps, so you're going to have to make at least 2 stops for fuel. But you don't want to slow your stop down for tires with the fuel.
Yeah, you just need enough fuel to run 25 more laps.
Let's have a look at tonight's Ford EcoBoost track facts. Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, 10 all-star starts and 6 top 10 finishes between the 2 Team Penske drivers. And Eric Almirola in a Ford is making his first career all-star start. We listened in on Brad.
Let me talk. 3 above, both ends. That's hurting me. Tight, 1/3 center, both ends. That's hurting me. Entry is good.
Breaking the corner down into 3 segments.
But you know, because these races are shorter, I hear urgency. You know, the longer races are a little more calm. Brad's a little more methodical. I heard a little urgency there, but we got to make something happen. We got to make it happen now.
Now the lap count has stopped at 25. Each of these segments, including green and caution laps, is just 25 laps. They'll open pit road, and when teams come off pit road, we'll line them up to go for the next 25. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything they learn making tires for the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what rolls into yours. Goodyear, official tire of NASCAR.
Just remember last night Clint Boyer took 4 tires and he won the second race. And so I don't know, man. 2 tires and 25 more laps, that'd be 50 laps. I don't know. I think I'd have to have 4 tires.
Yeah, I think if you're running in the top 10 or 12, you have a pretty good average finish for the first segment. I think you want to get the 4 tires, but I do think Michael could be onto something that if you are way back, like Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Matt Kenseth, you might roll the dice here and try to get to.
I got to get my car better now. I'll play games later.
Now you're saving gas. Is that so you spend less time on pit road or might not pit at all?
I think we're going to see pit road very busy.
Chris.
And Kurt Busch up 11 spots from the start. He's saying as he's getting near the front that the front end of that car is starting to wash up the racetrack a little bit. He's been trying to adjust it with the track bar. That's not working. Crew Chief Tony Gibson going to help him out here with 4 tires. Matt?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. said the car was too tight on entry. He adjusted with the track bar, but that made the car too free on exit. They're going to make a wedge adjustment this stop on the right side. Meanwhile, Kane and Hamlin both said that their cars were free. Kane waved off Keith Rodden's suggestion of a wedge adjustment. He doesn't want any changes. Solid stops all around.
Saw a couple of tires get away from crewmen there. Now the pro officiating system is being used. NASCAR's officials will review. Brad Keselowski up 3 spots with a 2-tire gamble. Sprint will cut your rate plan in half. Bring them your Verizon or AT&T bill and your old phone. They'll cut your rate plan at a Sprint retail store or at sprint.com/half price. Hendrick Motorsports, 2 wins in the last 3 All-Star races, 8 top 10 finishes.
And I mentioned Jimmy Johnson's amazing. He's won $5.5 million in this All-Star race, twice as much as anybody else.
Brad Keselowski, your leader. How about Dale Jr., Matt?
Mike, I heard Greg Ives say on the radio 4 tires, but when he said 4, his radio sort of cut in and out. So when the guys went over the wall, there was miscommunication. They thought it was going to be right side tires only. That's why Dale Jr. hesitated just for a couple seconds, but it was costly.
I think it'll be a short-term gain. We saw it yesterday in the showdown. It's hard to fight off those 4 fresh tires, especially when they're right on your rear bumper, like Hamlin and Casey.
And we saw the drop-off there. We saw 2 seconds drop-off. I just don't see that working.
Now we're hearing the only penalty called on pit stops was Greg Biffle too fast entering. Biffle was the last place car. He was coming back in for a second time for repairs. So the effect of that penalty is nothing. He restarts last.
Well, let's see what happens. You want to see how serious these guys are? Watch this restart.
Segment 2, green flag. Brad Keselowski, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Hamlin, Logano, Kane.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. or Casey Kane on that outside didn't get a very good restart.
Yeah, Junior couldn't get going.
Boy, Keselowski did. He yards Denny Hamlin off turn 2 with Kurt Busch in hot pursuit.
Whoa now. Snaking it down the back straightaway.
A little early for that.
Yeah, it is, but that's just, I tell you, that's how serious they are on these restarts.
Yes, sir. Joey Logano on that 22 got him about 2 or 3 right there.
Logano is looking to the inside here of the 4. No, let's see, that's Kyle there in the 18 going under the 4 car. Here's Logano. He's trying to get under Dale Jr. and get around Jeff Gordon.
He's trying to get all he can as Gordon moves up to 4th. Logano's got a fast hot rod.
Yeah, well, the tires are a little bit low on air right now. You saw it bottom out, some sparks fly, but that'll go away after a lap or 2.
He gains a length on Junior in turn 3 and comes out of turn 4 in 5th place.
Yeah, I think Junior's in big trouble here.
His teammates Kane and Johnson going by, which will put Earnhardt 4th among the 4 Hendrick Chevys.
And Larry, there's always a contrarian. You know, you say 2 tires won't work, but you got Brad Keselowski sitting up there right now on 2 tires, holding his own right at this moment.
Well, Brad Keselowski's one driver that has and can make it work.
2nd place, here comes Kurt.
Not for long. Here comes that 11 car, Denny Hamlin. He's fighting back on the outside. Got the advantage.
Well, if Hamlin's the hammer, maybe Kurt Busch is the rusty nail. Let's see.
Could be.
And they have company coming with that 24 car of Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, well, when they're running side by side right here, there's going to be a whole bunch of people catch up to them. Something got to give, and it did.
Gordon's cars come to life for segment 2 as Busch rolls into 2nd, Gordon to 3rd. And here comes Joey Logano from 5th.
That's the car that's in a hurry, that 22 car. That yellow car, Joey Logano, that thing is hooked up.
But we heard the report on Jeff Gordon's 24 car being real tight. Evidently, they made some great adjustments on that car.
Yeah, I think Jeff Gordon likes to start the race that way and then ease a little wedge out of it so you don't get in trouble early on with a loose car.
Logano's car always seems to be good off right on the gun, right off the start, off the restart, and good for a while.
Yeah.
But is a while 25 laps?
That's exactly what that car usually is good at. You know, we've seen it fall off over the long haul, but we've seen it really fast for 25, 30 laps. So should be just right.
But Jamie, the surprise is Jeff Gordon. Usually he's got a good long run car. He's really jumped out in segment 2.
That's right. His car was so tight early on, couldn't even touch the gas. Wow, Kyle Busch gets around it. It goes into turn 1, and the 24 Jeff Gordon, they made a wedge adjustment. As you said, DW, they took 4 tires, and he's also using that onboard track bar adjuster, and he says it's helping. The car is definitely freeing up.
Oh, boy, look at that 48 car, guys.
Whoa, he's been in the wall, and he got into Allmendinger right there.
Yeah, he's in trouble. The whole right side's caved in.
Johnson was 7th when this happened.
Just gets up there and gets loose. And he's fighting it, and it's probably going to.
First place, Kurt Busch is there. He wants the lead from Brad Keselowski. This is going to be an immovable object against irresistible force right here.
But you know what? I mean, 2 tires on that 2 car, and we're talking average finish. He's got a pretty good yard. You know, he's got a pretty good gap over everybody else. I think Kurt's going to get by, but it'll be interesting to see how Brad can hang on here on those 2 tires.
How hard does he want to fight Kurt Busch right here?
I would let him go. He's got 4 tires. You're trying to make your 2 tires work. Let him go. Follow him. Get that average finish. That's what they got to be thinking about.
I'm not sure let him go is in Brad Keselowski's vocabulary.
True. Very true.
Yeah, I don't think let it go is on his playlist.
But Jeff Gordon, he's got a bird's eye view of this battle. He is closing in on that lead.
While they're playing around up there, they're going to have some pretty serious company. 24 cars, fast.
Well, there's only one driver here out of the 20 who knows he's driving in his final Sprint All-Star race and wants to make it a memorable one, and that's Jeff Gordon.
Yes, sir. He'd love to be able to win this thing tonight. Nice bragging rights as we go down the road.
Keselowski did not want to give up the lead, did not give up the lead, and now may just have it taken from him.
Yeah, it looks like that the grip level of the 41 is a little higher than it is on the 2 car right now.
But Keselowski fights back off turn 2 and retakes it.
Isn't that something?
Whoa.
That is something right there.
Yeah, Kurt Busch got bad out of shape. He's got his hands full of Jeff Gordon in that 24.
Block, block, block. Stay back there.
Block and tackle.
That's what we're doing. 41 cars. Kurt's driving so hard, I think he's burned the tires off of it.
That's pretty impressive, Brad Keselowski in that 2 up there on just 2 right side tires. There goes Gordon to the bottom of the racetrack going around Kurt Busch.
Well, that's the greatest sight for Brad Keselowski, is to see them double wide in his mirror. Gordon could not complete the pass.
Oh, there's a lot of speed off the top of turn 2 over there, and that's where the 41 was that time. And he was able to pull out on the 24 a little bit.
Company's coming.
Oh, a whole bunch of guys are lined up behind him right now.
Joey Logano.
Casey Kane.
Yep. Kevin Harvick.
And that fella that's pretty good on a 1.5-mile track found his way up there too.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick in that 4 started dead last after a bad qualifying effort with the pit stop.
And now he's in the top half dozen. Behind him, Denny Hamlin has dropped from 2nd to 7th in this segment, Matt.
Mike, a great first segment. Now issues in segment number 2 for the 11 of Denny Hamlin. He's reporting a problem, a vibration somewhere on the race car.
I've got a bad vibration, man. Where do you feel the vibration, bud? As soon as I load up the car, it's like it's a loose wheel.
Well, we knew that was going to be a story, would be lug nuts, because these guys knew they had short runs, and there is no question nobody is tightening 5 lug nuts on these pit stops.
No, we saw it in the qualifying. I mean, 3, some guys 4, a lot of guys tighten 3 lug nuts. You can't race 25 laps with 3 lug nuts.
Last year that would have been a violation, but this year everyone started the race with 5 torqued lug nuts on each wheel. NASCAR no longer polices the amount of lug nuts on the car when it leaves pit road. You're on your own.
And but you know, in this race, if you've got an issue and it gets very serious, you got to pit. There's no points on the line. I mean, you don't want to sit out there and take a chance on something happening.
Danica Patrick, Ryan Newman, Carl Edwards trying to get something going.
Yeah, Carl Edwards in that 19, his struggles just continuing. You saw how bad Ryan Newman in that 31, how loose he was off the corner that time.
I am so surprised that Carl and Darian Grubb have not been able to get their arms around this car and get that thing where Carl needs it.
Kyle Busch in 8th, chasing down teammate Denny Hamlin.
I think Kyle's doing exactly what he needs to do tonight. You know, run the race, finish all 5 segments, and go home with a good night under his belt.
These 2 are teammates, but yet they have a history in this All-Star race.
I remember one night over here when Kyle wasn't very happy with Denny Hamlin. Felt like Denny cost him the race. They raced off turn 2, got in the wall. That's 2010. That Busch fella was looking for that Hamlin fella when the race was over with.
Casey Kane on the move, chasing Joey Logano for 4th place. In that last lap, Kane was 0.3 of a second quicker than the number 22.
Hey, Larry, you and I think the 2 is doing. What do you think all those guys that took 4 tires are thinking? They're thinking, well, why do we take 4 tires?
And we may see more of that at the end of these next couple of segments.
Of course, Dale Jr., he's falling back to 11th. There's some speed up here if you don't get in the fence.
And he's got it.
Whoa! He had him smoking, baby.
There comes Kevin Harvick in that 4 car, that white and green car back there sitting in 6 spots with 7 laps to go in this segment.
But how about Brad Keselowski? Never give up, never give in. He could have handed the lead to Kurt Busch and just coasted along and got a 2nd place finish and had the best average for 2 segments, but he refused to give up the lead.
Logano again gets that great run off turn 2 and is able to yard the 5 car down the back straightaway. That's what you want to do. High in 1 and 2 and low in 3 and 4.
Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin continues to hold off Kyle Busch, and behind them, Matt Kenseth picked up a spot from A.J. Allmendinger, so Kenseth up tonight. Kyle's trying it again on Hamlin, who didn't give him a whole lot of room coming through start-finish in the quad oval.
It's just hard to give when you're talking about average finish here, it's hard to give up a spot because you don't know how it may work out at the end of the night.
Kyle is up to 7th, Chris.
That's right, Mike. Kyle Busch has won 7 times in different segments throughout the All-Star race, but he's never won that final segment. He's looking to do that tonight. In the first segment, he said the 18 car just a little bit too loose. They made some improvements in this second segment, but he's still saying that car a little bit too loose for his liking.
But it is much better. He ended the first segment in 14th. He is currently 7th.
But he is definitely one of the drivers that always goes for broke. 9 starts, 5 DNFs in this All-Star race.
Yeah, he's the one we really coined checkers or wreckers.
Yeah, go big or go home.
We've seen him do that a number of times. I think he's driving a pretty smart race tonight so far.
He's exciting to watch. Absolutely. Back up front, Brad Keselowski maintains 0.3 of a second on Kurt Busch. Didn't see this coming with 3 laps to go in segment 2. That after that 2-tire change, Keselowski would hold everybody off.
Yeah, but he's going to have a hard time holding this 41 car off, even with only 3 to go.
And Mike, just like the first segment, with about 2 or 3 laps to go, pit road is closed where a driver cannot come to pit road. Yeah, it's like Kurt Busch in the 41. He makes a run at Brad, but when he gets there, he just stalls out.
Yeah, Brad's a little quicker in the places where you'd like to be able to make the pass, and that's just holding Kurt up. Still a very impressive run by the 2.
The front half dozen are all drawing back together. Keselowski, Busch, Gordon, Logano, Kane, and Harvick, all within easy sight of each other. Harvick on Kane. This will be for 5th place. 1 more lap to the end of this segment.
And that'll be 1 more spot if Kevin Harvick can get by him. Now, the other driver that changed just 2 tires, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is back in 12th in that 88, but Kane is not giving up on Harvick.
Momentum, baby.
Great run off turn 2. All right, Brad Keselowski's going to win segment 2. That's his 2nd segment win in the All-Star race. So it's Ford, Chevy with Kurt Busch and Jeff Gordon. Then Joey Logano's Ford. Chevys for Kane and Harvick. The first Toyota is Kyle Busch, who crosses the line 7th in front of Denny Hamlin and Matt Kenseth. A.J. Allmendinger rounds out the top 10 for segment 2.
Caution.
Kyle Busch actually had one of the faster cars at the end of that segment right there. He was coming on that cars in front of him.
All right, 2 segments, 50 laps in the books. What have we learned? Chris and Michael.
Well, Michael was just wowed by the driving performance of Brad Keselowski. Impressive so far, as we're 2 segments through, 4 segments, and then, of course, the last 10-lap dash. They keep reinventing, it seems, this Sprint All-Star race to challenge great drivers. And, Michael, speaking of reinventing, the new Samsung GS6 Edge, you can get one at sprint.com if you don't already have one, is a cool reinvented phone that is thin, that is light, that it does everything your phone could do. It's a smartphone.
I'm on Fox Sports 1's Twitter watching my grid walk with Bryson Burns. This is the skinniest, sweetest phone I've ever seen before in my whole life, and I love it.
And now we should watch pit stops, but let's check out the new Samsung GS6 Edge at sprint.com, and let's head down to the pits. Ready?
Okay, let's go.
Always self-promoting. Give it up, will you?
That's
the phone is
fun.
nice.
Well, in segment 1, Kurt Busch said the car just too tight as he was working his way through the field. In this segment, spent most of the time behind Brad Keselowski, and he said at that point, the car just a little bit too loose. So Tony Gibson, his crew chief, going to try and tighten that car up. Jamie?
And the 24 of Jeff Gordon saying it helped a little bit, but we still need some more. A wedge adjustment. They're calling for 4 tires. Meanwhile, the 22 of Joey Logano, the car stayed with him better that time. They called for a 4-tire stop. It could be inaudible here. Matt?
Brad Keselowski was better on entry into 1 and 3 than the 41, but he was too free on exit. That's what he wants to try to work on. He said 4 tires this time. It'll be a dogfight, but he'll do his best to try to hold on. Mike?
Jamie McMurray looks like he's going to lead the race down and off pit road, and he does. From Keselowski, Logano, Busch, Kane, Harvick, and Kyle Busch.
Looks like the lone driver that went with 2 tires that time, Jamie McMurray and Matt McCall in that 1 team.
McMurray, defending winner of the All-Star race, is the first off pit road. Sprint will cut your rate plan in half. Bring them your Verizon or AT&T bill in your phone, and they'll cut your rate plan at a Sprint retail store or sprint.com/half price. There's DW celebrating after winning the first running of the Winston, Stock Car Racing's first All-Star event.
That engine has blown up more times. I run the whole race. The only thing I ever see is the engine blowing up.
Larry, history repeats itself. Last year, Jamie McMurray stayed out from 10th after segment 2 to get the lead. He did not pit. This year, from 14th, he takes 2 tires and gets the lead after segment 2.
Yeah, and I think like what we saw with Brad Keselowski, unlike with Dale Earnhardt Jr., you have to have a good handling race car to make that work. That's a big part of the key. But yeah, Matt McCall, McMurray just trying to get that track position, help that average finish. And of course, where they really helped him last year was winning that battle off pit road before that 10-lap shootout.
Yeah. Well, this is Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night. 1 week from tomorrow night on Fox. Stock Car Racing's longest night.
Next week, it's the most grueling race of the year. Coca-Cola 600. Yep, that's 600 grueling miles where anything can happen.
All around he goes!
It's a true battle of survival.
Checkered flag, Jimmy Johnson.
But where there's a will, there's a way. Tune in for the ultimate test in motorsports next week on Fox.
Getting ready for the restart for segment 3 of 5 in the Sprint All-Star race. Jamie McMurray took 2 tires to get the lead. Here's the discussion.
2 car led that whole last segment there on the 2 tires there, but okay, 10-4.
I love Jamie. Okay, 10-4.
He's so easily convinced.
Oh, yeah. Okay, if that's what you say, we'll do it. But listen, watch these restarts now. This front straightaway right here, when you come down to get the green, it's real flat. There's not a lot of these tracks we go to got a little banking in the front straightaway, and so it's not as critical as it is here. I've seen time and time again guys spin the tires and get in trouble here on restarts.
And I tell you who has become Mr. Excitement on restarts is that yellow 22 car, Joey Logano. Yes. He gets after it.
I say we'll see some 3-wide racing here on this restart, maybe into turn 1.
We did last night in the sprint showdown. They went 3 wide between 1 and 2 and didn't get it sorted out till the start-finish line. It was wild.
McMurray better not to linger. He better get going.
Best average finish for the 2 segments so far: Keselowski, Kane, Kurt Busch, Jeff Gordon, Denny Hamlin. All right, let's do 25 more. Green flag.
There he goes.
Whoa! Logano got McMurray and he straightens it out.
Oh my gosh, what a great save!
But while that happened, there goes Brad Keselowski in that 2, just driving away. Here comes Busch in the 41, up to second.
Just like we ended the last segment, first and second, 2 and 41. But what a save by McMurray.
And in the back, Jimmy Johnson took him 3 wide. High, wide, handsome, picked up about 4 spots.
I think McMurray said, look, dude, if you're in that big a hurry, just go on.
And I think him getting back, that kills the 2-tire strategy.
I think so, too, because now he's in a lot of trouble. Casey Kane going around on the outside, just not there for him right now. And here comes, I can't tell who that is underneath him, but he's
that's
going,
Harvick in the 4, riding with
yeah,
him.
and he's going backwards. You got to watch this. I knew the restart would be exciting, and I knew McMurray would be in trouble with Logano had those 4 tires.
Want to see it again?
Yeah, let's see this. I love it. Right there when he crossed the line, and Joey tried to get on the inside, and I don't know how in the world McMurray saved that thing. Joey just backed off and gave him room.
Because he had to.
Yeah,
Jamie was going to spin right in front of him and take them all out. Wow.
Oh, that is amazing. What a job.
So it sorts out, kind of, after this.
Actually, he straightened it. Look at there, Larry. He straightened that quarter panel back out. It was all bowed out there. He hit it again and straightened it up.
Keselowski and Kurt Busch again will fight for the lead, and this time they have a 2.5 seconds on Joey Logano, Casey Kane, and Kevin Harvick. 7th place, Matt Kenseth is coming.
Well, there was Jeff Gordon, who was up there fighting, closing on our leaders at the end of the last segment. Looks like his car's not as good this segment.
But definitely, they have made Matt Kenseth's 20 car better and better as this race has went on.
They do that all the time. They're pretty good at that. Jason Radcliffe and they communicate well together. They really get Matt's car going as the race goes along.
Kenseth the 7th around the outside of Gordon, and right behind him, Carl Edwards has come to life. He's gaining.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago we were talking about Carl Edwards outside the top 15. Now he's up in the 9th spot in that 19 car.
Well, you give these guys enough times on pit road, they'll get it right. They'll change the wedge, air pressure, track bar. They got enough tools in the toolbox to fix it.
How about Matt Kenseth in 7th, Chris?
Well, Mike, you're spot on about that 20 car. Matt Kenseth saying that they're making progress all night. Talking to his crew chief, Jason Radcliffe, today, said yesterday they went through a whole slew of changes and the car responded every time. But when he started the race tonight, he said he couldn't do anything with it. It was so tight, but now he's got a pretty good race car.
You know who's going to be really mad at Brad Keselowski? Jamie McMurray. Because his crew chief saw what Keselowski did on 2 tires. Remember, he told Jamie, the 2 made that work last time? I don't think Jamie's buying into that right now.
No, because he continues to lose spots. So he's going to lose a spot to Jeff Gordon in that 24, and there comes Carl Edwards in the 19.
And then, Larry, that's what made what Keselowski do so impressive, that he was able to sit up there and lead that race on those 2 tires. They had something up their sleeve the whole time.
There's Keselowski. He's pulling away from Kurt Busch. So far, it's still a win for McMurray. If he came in 14th and came out first, they've only shuffled him back to 8th, so he's still 6 spots ahead.
So far.
Well, yeah.
So far. There goes the 22 car. He's working around the outside. Well, I don't know. Almost had him. I guess the 4 is going by him.
This has been quite a run for Kevin Harvick in the 4. Remember, started at the tail end of the field. Now he's up to 3rd. But he really has to have some good finishes here in these last segments.
Trouble turn 4. One car hard into the wall. And now sliding down pit road.
Where do I go?
I don't think she hit the wall. It just car quit.
Oh, Matt?
Mike, shortly before that, she was reporting that the car was smoking possible engine on the 10.
Well, remember, she changed engine before the race started, Larry.
Yeah, we saw smoke right at the end of that showdown race, so they elected to change that engine in that 10 car. There you see it right there. She turned off down into turn 3.
Yeah, and that engine blew, or it didn't actually blow, but it was smoking when the race was over last night. They changed it. Now they lost another one tonight.
Car came to speed, lost speed so suddenly, thought surely it had been in the wall, but no damage. Just the motor. Jeff Gordon has repassed Matt Kenseth and driven away from the number 20, so put Gordon up to 6th. Working his way back.
Yeah, looks like Matt's kind of settled in right where he is right now. He was going forward there pretty good, but looks like the tires have kind of leveled off now.
And Jimmie Johnson's up and down night continues. Jamie?
Well, in the second segment, they loosened him up, and then he got into the wall and said he was looser. This segment, Chad Knaus's crew chief told him, we're pretty much done at this point. Just take care of it and bring it home in one piece.
Wow.
8th place, Jamie Mack trying to hold off Carl Edwards.
Yeah, this really is. It's all about winning. I mean, tonight is about you got to win, and if you're not in a position to win, you know, a great finish or a good finish ain't really not going to do you any good.
Yeah, you don't want to destroy a race car just trying to get a good finish.
Nah.
It means nothing.
Nah.
Jimmy McMurray, he keeps hanging on with those 2 right side tires as we're about halfway through this 3rd segment.
Yeah, it looks like she's leveled off a little bit right there where she is now.
They're your segment winners, or leaders, if you will, at the end of each 25-lap segment. We're halfway through segment 3. We'll run a 4th 25-lap segment and then the 10-lap shootout.
Yeah, Kyle Busch made an unscheduled pit stop here for 4 tires on that 18 car. That's going to put him 1 lap down.
Larry, to my point about winning, it's $1.1 million to win. It's $250 for second. It's only $150 for third. So, you know, I mean, I'm not saying only. That sounds kind of foolish, but when you're looking at $1 million to win, if you don't run the first 2 or 3, you don't want to tear up your car.
Denny Hamlin thought he had a loose wheel in that second segment. That's exactly what happened to Kyle Busch, is the reason he made that pit stop.
Mired in 15th, Dale Earnhardt Jr. What's up there, Matt?
Mike, earlier in the race, we documented the miscue on pit road where they went with rights. The car was just way too free when they pitted. They made some significant adjustments, both with air pressure and wedge. The car still too loose.
And see what happened there when they changed just right sides. They made adjustments for that and then go with 4 tires. And that, you just get off sync here.
I'll tell you, the fastest car on the racetrack right now is Kevin Harvick. He's running 3rd, but he's chopping into the lead of his teammate up there, Kurt Busch, and closing slightly on the 2 car as we get down here to the end of this segment.
Right, his 29.60 on his last lap is a 1/4 second better than Kurt and a couple of tenths better than Brad Keselowski, but Keselowski steps it up again to hold a 6/10 of a second lead.
And we're getting a report it was the left rear that was loose on Kyle Busch's 18 car, but they went ahead and changed 4 not knowing.
That time by, Kevin Harvick ran a 29.66. Our leader ran a 29.78. So that's 2 more tenths that Kevin Harvick has cut out of that lead, and he continues to close.
We've still got 9 to go in this segment, but Jamie McMurray still holding on to a net gain from that 2-tire change. Not the result he wanted up at restarting up at the front, but
quite a bit of company here, though. Carl Edwards is lurking right there behind him and closing pretty fast.
Now Carl was 17th after segment 2. He was 15th after segment 1.
I know they told Jimmie Johnson he was done, but he will not go away in that 48 car back there lurking behind Carl Edwards in the 19.
Yeah, it's a little late, a little early to say let's pack it in, I think.
That's what we thought last week in Kansas during the rain delay.
Darn Earl.
Here comes Carl on the 1 of McMurray trying to make the pass that'll put him in 8th place, Jamie.
I
think that just fires up the 18. You're done. Okay, hammer down, and he's going for it. Meanwhile, the 19 of Carl Edwards, they've been working on his car. They've made more adjustments to this car than anybody else in my section. He's saying the balance is good now, but he's just a little tight, and he was getting frustrated with the one. Couldn't get around him for quite some time, so he's not giving up either.
Tell you guys, not giving up, and he's closing fast. Kevin Harvick in that 4 car. He has found that high line. He's making it work, and he's going to get a run on his teammate right here coming off turn 2. May have something for him when he go down the back.
Yeah, look at the run. I mean, it looks like you have 100 more horsepower, but the run he got. Kurt tried to block him for a second, but back to the top of the racetrack, Harvick goes.
Just such momentum off the corner when you can make that high line work. You're in the gas so much quicker and so much longer that it just creases the straightaway. Makes the straightaways longer, makes your straightaway speed faster. Watch this run he gets off turn 2 right here. This thing will come off there like he's got 2,000 horsepower.
Same cars, pretty much same setups at Stewart-Haas Racing. Kurt Busch had burned up his tires trying to chase down and pass Brad Keselowski.
Could have, possible. I just think that Kevin has found that high line, that really, really high line is paying off, and he is after the leader.
Now back in 5th is Casey Kane, 5 seconds back, Matt.
Mike, Casey Kane would love to be able to run up high. The problem, the car is just too free. He can't run as high as Harvick. He keeps trying to adjust with the track bar adjuster inside the car. He's made several different adjustments. He keeps doing it. It's not helping.
Well, Kevin Harvick has caught Brad Keselowski, and what Brad did, his spotter probably told him, Kevin is running right up next to the wall. Brad has now moved his line up high against the wall. Let's see how that works for him.
But Harvick is still chopping about 1/10 a lap with about 2.5 laps to go before the next caution.
But Larry, right there, you look at the gap that the 2 got that time by running high off of turn 2. He was able to pull that lead back out.
All right, pit road closes as Kane makes the move on Logano for 4th place.
Little mini battles kind of all over the place. Got a battle for the lead, first 3 cars. Got a little battle here for 4th and 5th. Got another little battle back here for 7th and 8th.
Well, what you don't see on All-Star Saturday night is you go on ahead and pass me. It's okay. I'll come back and get you later.
Yeah.
There's none of that.
Nope.
Yeah, every little battle is one little spot, which is important.
There's no give and take. There's just take. One more lap and we'll be done with segment 3.
I know who'll be glad too is that Jamie McMurray. He just got passed by Clint Boyer, and he is holding his breath trying to make one more lap around here on those 2 tires.
This battle here will not go away between Joey Logano on that 22 and Casey Kane in that 5. There you see Logano to the bottom and Kane to the top.
Coming to the line, and it's Keselowski again. He holds off Harvick by 0.4 of a second. Kurt Busch by a second, then Logano, Kane, Jeff Gordon, Matt Kenseth, and Carl Edwards. Entering tonight, Brad Keselowski had only led 20 All-Star laps in his career.
Tell you what, he came to play tonight, boys.
He can. Caution, caution, caution. Really nice job.
Keselowski's led 49 of the 75 laps so far tonight.
Yeah, he's doing it on the track. They're doing it in the pits. They're making good calls. Pretty smart bunch of guys tonight.
Now Kyle Busch made a green flag pit stop for a loose wheel, and thus he lost a lap and will be the free pass when we get ready to restart. Chris?
Thanks, Mike. So the 25-lap segment and then the 10-lap dash with Michael Waltrip keeping an eye on things as we check the Budweiser race summary. Top 5 in all 3 segments. Of course, Casey Kane, the segment leader after 1. Brad Keselowski, the last 2. Kurt Busch, a car you liked from the very beginning.
Yeah, I knew he'd be strong, but Kevin Harvick was driving the laps of the night just then. He was sideways running off the corner. What an amazing job of showing car control and also showing how bad he wants this thing.
We've We've seen the strategy from Jamie McMurray, obviously for Brad Keselowski so far. What should we expect next round of pit stops? What you've seen based on strategy, what you think we'll see?
I think these leaders will all get 4 tires here, and then it's a free-for-all for that last 10 laps. You get 4 here, Chris, there's liable to be some cars that come to pit road and do their best to have the fastest pit stop they can have in the world, and that's what we're going to see.
Keselowski's 7th All-Star race, still looking for that first win. Chris Neville.
Well, Kevin Harvick, big gains on the racetrack. Big gains with the balance of that car, too. Early, he said he was losing the balance after 12 laps. Now, he says that car is great. No changes. Jamie.
And Joey Logano's car is decent. He said the rear end was going away, and then right at the end, the front end was going away. 4 tire stop for the 3rd time in a row for the 22, Matt.
Brad Keselowski said the early part of the run, it was the first of the corner, but near the end, it was the exit that was his biggest hindrance. Just way too free to run up high. Let's see the battle off pit road.
Matt Kenseth gambled and won. He gets out first ahead of Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, and Kevin Harvick.
The gambling continues. Why not?
And the plot thickens in Charlotte in the Sprint All-Star race on Fox Sports 1.
Playing with house money right now.
It's already been a festive, action-packed all-star night here at Charlotte Motor Speedway on Fox Sports 1 as we get ready for the 4th of 5 segments. A quick recap if you tuned in a little bit late. The fans up close to the driver saying so long to Jeff Gordon in his final all-star race. Kyle Busch we said hello to, his first race since the injury down in Daytona. Casey Kane was your first segment leader. Denny Hamlin started this on the pole, and then segment 2, Jimmy Johnson loose.
These cars are just on the edge of control. You can see Johnson in the outside wall, but Chris, even the fast cars are sideways.
Battle here for the lead in segment 2, and it's Brad Keselowski, an early gamble, and he leads segment 2. And then, of course, the fans voted in, I should say, Danica Patrick, who suffered an engine problem in this all-star race. And the leader after segment 3, again, Brad Keselowski. So he has led a total of 49 of the 75 laps so far in this race.
His gamble is what has paid off and got him up front. He got 2 tires and was able to hold the lead. Did a great job of driving. Now it's Matt Kenseth and Denny Hamlin's turn to try to do the same thing. They're up front on 2 tires, gambling on some track position and trying to make it work.
And you have said before, the fastest car doesn't always win this race.
Yeah, and the fastest car, in my opinion, right now is Harvick and Kurt Busch. They're both really good, and they're not on this front row. It'll be interesting to see, as the laps tick down, how desperate these guys get. We're going to see bumpers to bumpers here in this segment, I can guarantee you.
Back upstairs to Darrell, Larry, and Mike.
Thanks, Chris. Getting ready for the restart for segment 4. Matt Kenseth and Denny Hamlin rolled the dice, 2 tires each. Here's Hamlin's team about that strategy.
Look, we just got to play this game. Doesn't have to be pretty. We got to play the game. Get our average up here. That's all we're trying to do. Get our average up. Give us a shot at the end of this thing. This ain't over. You got to fight.
Neither of those two have any of the top 5 positions in the best segment average. Those would be Keselowski, who restarts 3rd, Kurt Busch, who restarts 5th, Casey Kane, who will restart 7th, Joey Logano restarts 6th, and Jeff Gordon restarts 8th. They have the best averages.
One driver you don't see there is Kevin Harvick in that 4. Kevin, I think, really has to try to get after it and win this segment.
I do too, but I love what that crew chief said, man. I love that motivation. You got to fight. Dave Rogers just told Denny Hamlin, get up on the wheel and fight, man. We're in a battle here.
Those 2 tires sent Kenseth from 7th at the end of the last segment to 1st. Hamlin from 13th to 2nd. Let's see what they can do for 25 laps after a 2-tire change. Green flag. Kurt Busch to the middle.
Wow.
4 wide.
Wow, he split the middle. Went right through there.
That was a bold move.
I'll agree with that.
And you'd expect no less.
Well, they are bunched up going down that back into turn 3 this time. This is the tightest they've been all the way around.
Edwards with a run on the bottom in the orange car coming after Logano.
That 41 car, that move he made on that restart, he's going to make that work. Woohoo! Fires, sparks flying.
Harvick had a slip off 2 last time by.
Continues to lose spots.
Him to 7th. Yep.
Just got passed by Logano on that 22.
Busch to the high side for the lead. Crossover move, top, looking at the bottom on Hamlin, nothing there.
We've seen that out of that 41 car earlier when he was trying to get by Denny Hamlin. He could get up there to him, but didn't seem to be able to make the pass. Let's see what he can do here this time. Got to run. Hamlin slips up in front of him, holds him off, looking to the inside.
Plenty of time. Plenty of room.
Oh, Kurt Busch drove that thing in. Whoa, we got Logano in the wall.
Joey Logano saves it, bounces off the wall.
Real loose, stay high, digging on the bottom. Shut the right rear a little bit, it's on.
And the field goes by.
Not a lot of damage to the right rear of that car, even though it got into the wall a little bit. It didn't damage it much.
He sure stacked up the field.
Yeah.
Logano was 6th. He's now 16th. Coming back.
Yeah, here comes Brad Keselowski in that 2. He's all over the rear bumper. Denny Hamlin at 11. I think just a lot like we saw in McMurray, this is where you start to pay the price for those 2 right side tires. But you know what? They did what they had to do.
Yeah, they're looking at their average, and that's what Dave Rogers was telling Denny. Fight, get all you can, work on the average.
Let's have a look at what happened to Joey Logano.
Yeah, he's up here in the middle of 3 and 4, and he gets into the corner. Kevin Harvick's under him, and the car just got loose. Stepped out on him, up to the wall it went. It didn't make a lot of contact, not a lot of damage, but it sure did slow down his progress.
Well, Brad Keselowski made the run up to Denny Hamlin. Now, he got a good run down the back straightaway that time. Denny didn't just roll over.
Matt Kenseth, teammate Carl Edwards, 5th place. Casey Kane right with them.
I tell you, I know the Toyota boys have complained a little bit about their engines this year, but tonight I've seen some pretty good speed out of that 11 car. and also out of the 20 car. So the 11 is really looking good tonight. And of course, he won the pole. So looked like they've done a good job getting ready for this weekend.
Toyota with 3 of the top 7 spots, still looking for their first win in the All-Star race.
Whoa, Keselowski's getting right up there underneath Denny Hamlin. That ought to loosen him up a little bit. If he can get close enough, he can probably get Denny up the hill.
I think I put Brad in defense mode right now. He's going to have the best segment average. He's going to be first onto pit road for the final pit stop if he just holds station right there.
Yeah, but you know, one thing I've noticed about that 11 car, Larry, he's the only car I've seen that can get off turn 2 on the bottom with speed.
Well, both of them have company coming right behind them. Kevin Harvick in that 4 had that little bit of hiccup on that restart, fighting his way back.
Yeah, I think, Larry, he's got to get up there and try to win this thing if at all possible. His average is not as good as these guys in front of him.
7th place, A.J. Allmendinger. Back in play in the 47.
The Dingers come alive a little bit here in this segment.
And Jeff Gordon trying to work his way forward from 9th.
Kevin Harvick, a lot like in that last segment, he's right up against the wall, especially down in 3 and 4, and he's going to get a good run down the front straightaway this time.
Yeah, when he gets up high like that, that's how he closed on the leaders in the last segment. When he makes that high line like that, he really gains a lot of speed.
But now Keselowski will get the same run off turn 2.
Yeah, I think he's got enough room, though, this time that Kevin slid up in front of him. I think that Kevin's going to be able to make that work. Kevin Harvick in that 4. I mean, he is up against that wall. He's almost touching it. Whoa, fishtailing out of the corner.
10 of 25 laps complete in segment 4. Then they'll line them up by average running order at the end of each segment for the final pit stop under caution.
Man, Harvick got a great run that time off turn 2. He's all over the back of Denny Hamlin in that 11.
That's amazing how much speed there is when you can make that top groove work. Watch him right here. He's going to get such a tremendous run. Hamlin's going to block him.
Boy, those 2 tires have paid off well for Denny Hamlin.
They have. They have hipped his average. Here goes Harvick. He's going to make that pass off 2 this time. It's going to be close.
He's going to clear Hamlin now by a couple of car lengths. He's got to put his work clothes on if he wants to catch his teammate Kurt Busch in that 41.
He won't catch Kurt, but he's going to help the heck out of his average. I can tell you that. And that's what he's really working on.
Clint Boyer's made an unscheduled pit stop that'll take him off the lead lap.
Looked like he'd been in the wall, possibly. Clint Boyer in the 15. Right now, those first 2 cars run almost identical lap times, 29.4 and a 29.4.
Breaking news, guess who won, just won, the combined K&N East and West Series race at Iowa Speedway?
Who?
Brandon McReynolds.
All right. How about that?
Brother! Congratulations,
Thank
man.
you, buddy.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
There's a proud dad right there.
Way to go,
Way to
baby.
go, Larry.
Way to go, Brandon. Way to go, Larry. We've been waiting for that.
Clint Boyer had a left rear wheel loose.
But you look at Denny Hamlin in that 11, that's twice we've definitely seen the 2-tire strategy pay off. It paid off for Keselowski after that first segment, and it's absolutely paid off for Denny Hamlin this time.
Again, Larry, that 4 car has really, he's speeded up when everybody else slowed down. That time by, he ran a 29.24. Kevin Harvick, our leader, ran a 29.45. So he gained 2/10. It's not going to get him to the lead, but that car it's fast once it gets up here in the clean air.
Wouldn't you like to know why that worked so well for Denny Hamlin and not for Matt Kenseth, who did the exact same thing and is now back in 9th?
Yeah, and also Jamie McMurray. I mean, he's all the way back in 15th, and that hurt him too.
But Mike, like I told you at the top of the show, I think it had a lot to depend on how the car was driving and how the balance was, because the 2 tires absolutely affect the balance of the car as well as the grip.
Well, the right side tire we have here this time, it's different. It's that multi-zone tire. The left side is the same left side I think we've had here for a while. It apparently needs those right side tires to be changed, and the left's hanging there pretty good.
Jeff Gordon 7th, A.J. Allmendinger 8th. They're battling 8 seconds back of the lead with 8 laps to go in segment 4.
Got really strung out in this segment here with our leader going into turn 3. Harvick about halfway down the back. Here comes Hamlin and then Keselowski, and a long way back to Casey Kane.
Yeah, Kurt Busch's lead of 2.2 seconds is about the biggest lead of the night.
Yeah, it is.
I look at those two teammates running first and second, Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick. This is not a points race, but the first 11 points races, and remember Kurt Busch missed 3. Those two drivers, they've led 44% of the laps we've run this year.
Well, and good thing for those guys, good thing for Kurt Busch particularly. The 4 car and the 41 car are set up identical. And they show it on the racetrack. They run very similar lap times, and they run at the front of the field most of the time.
Brad Keselowski had a good lap. He's running down Denny Hamlin. This is for 3rd place. Cut that margin about in half in 1 lap. So Hamlin's 2 tires may be fading here.
Yeah, but
6 to go in this segment.
Just in the nick of time. I think they're going to hold on just the right amount of laps.
Matt?
Now factor in that Brad Keselowski has been in the most traffic he's been in the past couple of segments, but he's also saying to Paul Wolfe, you see him sawing on the wheel. This is the worst the 2-car has been all race long. Way too tight trying to cut to the center of the corner, way too free on exit.
How about an attaboy for Kyle Busch? He got a lap down with that unscheduled stop, got the free pass on the last caution. Solid top 10 night.
Yeah, I like what he's doing. I really am happy that he's able to run all the laps, just check himself out physically and get ready for next week.
And that's exactly what he told you under the pace laps.
Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure I've got everything right for the longest race of the year next Sunday night.
And by next weekend, he's likely to be a dad for the first time.
He probably will. And the thing that I've heard him complain about the most, or concerned about the most, is the new seat that he's trying to get used to. He's changed seats, and he's got the carbon fiber seat now. You can see there sitting in it, and he said he's just having trouble getting it adjusted the way he wants it. He looks comfortable in the car.
Well, and also, Darrell, there were some off-season rule changes in the Sprint Cup Series. Yep. And he has not had a chance to drive a Sprint Cup car since practice for the Daytona 500 Saturday morning at Daytona.
You couldn't have picked a better scenario.
Right.
A better race to come back to. Get some laps under your belt. We're going to run 100 laps tonight. That'll help him get ready for next week. He knows what he needs to do for next week.
All right, pit road is closed for the final time as we run the final 3 laps of segment 4.
Yeah, I've been watching the scoring monitor, and it's going to be too little too late, but Kevin Harvick in that 4 has definitely been a little quicker the last few laps over his teammate Kurt Busch to 41.
Yeah, and we've seen that out of Kevin's car in the other 2 segments. It really stays. It doesn't drop off like some of the other cars does. But like you said, he let Kurt get out there too far, and he can't reel him in.
But that's all right. That's only a 1-point difference in your grade point average over the 4 segments. So I think second will be just fine for Harvick to pick him up enough to where he can challenge.
Yeah, well, he wasn't in the top 5 of our average, top 5 average finishes there, so he needed a good run here to get that average up.
Absolutely. And Denny Hamlin, the 2-tire gamble is going to pay off. He has a second on Brad Keselowski in 3rd.
Yeah, he's actually quicker than Keselowski right now. He's running a little bit quicker on the lap times.
So 1 more lap will conclude segment 4. There it is. Kurt Busch.
And Mike,
1.6 over Kevin Harvick.
I really like what Dave Rogers, I mean, he got on Denny Hamlin. He said, look, don't give up. We got to fight. We got to fight for those points.
So Hamlin 3rd, Keselowski 4th, and Kane the top 5. Edwards picked up to 6th, Jeff Gordon 7th, Allmendinger, Kyle Busch, and Matt Kenseth, the top 10. Kenseth's 2-tire strategy did not work out as well as it did for his teammate Denny Hamlin.
Looked good for about 10 laps, and that was it. Now, get the old calculator out.
6th segment win in All-Star competition for Kurt Busch. We're going to go calculate some grade point averages here and line them up for pit road. The Toyota Camry pace car leads them around as you watch from our Goodyear aerial coverage, waiting for NASCAR timing and scoring to confirm the average finish over the 425 lap segments, and the cars will be reordered as such, and then pit road will open, and whoever gets off there first the last 4 years has banked $1 million.
And
10 laps later.
And then guess what's going to happen? All heck is going to break loose. I'm going to tell you. We've been working on an average finish. Now we're going to work on an average paycheck.
Well, Brad Keselowski was the leader at the end of 2 of the 4 segments. So at 2.5, he should be our leader on to pit road. Kurt Busch, who won the 4th segment, 2.7. Casey Kane, Kevin Harvick really improved his lot in life with that 2nd place run.
He wasn't in the top 5 up until that segment.
Jeff Gordon hasn't led, but 5.5 is pretty good. Denny Hamlin, that 2-tire gamble really paid off for Hamlin. Joey Logano's been in the fence, but he's still in the top 10. Dale Jr., Matt Kenseth, and also up to the fence, Jimmy Johnson. Here's the rest of your field.
Now, I know we said there's no strategy because everybody will change 4 tires, but in my book, there is strategy. How many lug nuts do we want to try to go with to keep these wheels on that race car for 10 laps? And remember, it's a race off pit road, just like a normal pit stop.
And Larry, I don't think I've seen any advantage to be on the inside or the outside. It seems to have been a pretty even drag race when they dropped the green flag here. So unlike some racetracks where you might want to figure out, do I want to be 3rd or 5th, or do I want to be, 2nd or 4th? I don't know that there's a big advantage that I've seen.
And a driver pointed out to us that on restarts, late race restarts, you need to be in the top 4. And you know what? I think he's right.
He's been right more times than not.
Yes, he has.
So now the field is being reordered according to their average finish. Pit road's going to be open this time. And Andy Petrie, our Fox NASCAR rules analyst, the new rule where NASCAR no longer polices lug nuts and leaves it up to the teams. How do you feel this has worked out so far?
Well, I think it's worked out decent. I mean, we haven't seen anybody really lose a wheel or a tire after one of these stops, but I think this is going to test it. This is one of those times, I agree with Larry, they're going to come down here and really roll the dice because no points on the line. They're just trying to go for a bunch of money. It's going to be interesting to see just how many they will go for, but I think it's worked out okay to have a rule that let these guys on pit road worry about the lug nut.
How long you gonna top this thing up, or are you gonna leave her a little low on fuel?
I'm not going to worry about fuel.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think most of them put fuel in that last time. I don't want to do anything to slow this pit stop down.
That's exactly right.
Well, we said at the top of the night when we got ready for qualifying that this was the night that the pit crews would really shine and really earn their money. First in qualifying, where you had to change 4 tires to determine your start position. And right about now, things have got to be a little tense down on pit road as they await the cars for the money stop. And especially with this new wrinkle of you have 5 lug nuts, how many you want to use?
It's optional. Lug nuts are optional.
Those wheels have to stay on for 10 laps.
And we've already seen a couple of loose wheels tonight, but you know what? They didn't hit pit road till it was well after 10 laps.
Oh, yeah.
Great aerial coverage from Goodyear tonight. You just love the way the first super speedway to be lit for night racing shines as we look from our Goodyear aerial coverage. Everything they learned making tires for the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what rolls into yours.
You called it a gym. I call it a battlefield. I mean, when you put these race cars out there and there's $1 million on the line, we're getting ready to go to war.
In 1992, they called it One Hot Night. First lit super speedway race, and everybody wondered what would happen. Would the drivers be able to see? Would the fans be able to see? What would it be like? It was awesome. Here we go for the money stop. Chris Neville.
All the way from 20th earlier tonight, Kevin Harvick in the top 5. He's found a groove on the racetrack he likes. He says no changes. Kurt Busch running right at the front. That car a little bit loose after 10 laps, but all he needs is 10 laps. Matt?
Casey Kane has just about wore out the track bar adjuster, making track bar adjustments every segment, trying to tighten up that 5 car, still free. Meanwhile, the two here, Hunter Masling and Dwayne Ogles, the 2 most important men, hitting those lugs. How many will they leave to get this car off pit road? Because that's the track position that Brad Keselowski said is so crucial.
Here's your Advance Auto Parts race off pit road. Hamlin and Keselowski, and they were 3 wide behind them.
But what really paid off for Denny Hamlin was sitting on the pole earlier today. He had that last pit box leaving, huge advantage.
Yeah, and he's going to be hard. I'll tell you, that car is good enough. But it looked like there was a little speeding going on at the end of pit road there, jockeying for position.
Brad Keselowski, too fast exiting.
Yes, sir. I thought I saw that. He was racing Hamlin, and he kind of goosed it right at the end and a little too fast.
Carl Edwards, too fast exiting. An exciting night at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and it all comes down to the final 10 laps. And Brad Keselowski came into the pits first with the best 4-segment average and exited too fast, trying to beat Denny Hamlin to the yellow line, which ends pit road speed.
You'll see right here, he just gooses it trying to beat the 11. Right there, you can see him really speed up, and then he realized it. You see smoke coming off the tires too late.
All right, now watch the speed on the pointer for Keselowski. They're trying to get to the yellow line and must maintain pit road speed in that short final segment. Right there, 53 miles an hour. The limit is 45. They give you 5 miles per hour.
They're calling 50.33, so he was right. It was close, but man, that's $1 million mistake right there.
It had to be close. Just only so much I could do, man. I had to get the lead there. I mean, we can't get a penalty doing it either.
That's not a very happy crew chief, I tell you.
Nope.
I understand what Brad's saying, but Paul's right. You know, we can't give it away.
Carl Edwards was also too fast exiting, so he goes to the back. Danica Patrick back in the race, 31 laps down, and Keselowski will restart 18th with 10 laps to go. Denny Hamlin at the front with Kurt Busch.
And Mike, I was talking to Andy Petrie, and I think Andy's right. Probably Brad thought he had cleared where pit road speeding is over, but as you said, it's a short segment. It's only 133 feet, and obviously he was busted right there.
I would agree with you, except I saw him smoke the tires trying to slow down when he got to that line.
All right, here's some audio from Denny Hamlin's team.
All right, DH, we dream of days like this. Mega happen. You're the man. You showed it all night tonight. Thank you, pit crew.
Well, Chris Myers called him the hammer, and the way he wheeled that car on 2 tires to up his average and be in position to win it is admirable. But boy, Kurt Busch has been tough to stop. Kurt in a Chevrolet, Hamlin in a Toyota. Let's see who wins $1 million. 10 to go.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, that 11 car got a great start. 41, not so much. Hamlin shot out there. That's right what he needed for 10 laps. But he's got the man. I mean, he's got the man on his tail and is coming fast. That Kevin Harvick in a 4 car.
Tell you what, there's another man right there beside Kurt Busch, that 41, Jeff Gordon in the 24.
Harvick this time immediately goes to that top line, which was really working good for him. See if he can do anything with Hamlin. Hamlin from the pole had the best pit stall.
Harvick during the break said, "I've found a line I really like that has a lot of speed." There it is, right in the middle. Right through the middle. That's where Harvick's speed is.
Yeah, you could see the speed differential right there, and it carries all the way down that back straightaway.
But Hamlin has had one of the few cars that could carry speed off of the bottom of both corners.
And Kurt Busch is coming back. He is all over Harvick for second.
Yeah, that thing has come alive now. They don't want to get the 4 and the 41 don't want to get racing each other. That 11 will get away from them, and it's over with. I mean, right now, Kevin Harvick is seeing on the back of that 11 car $1 million bill. Can he get him? Can I get there?
3 of Stock Car Racing's hardest chargers right there for the lead.
That time Denny Hamlin pushed up the hill, let Kevin Harvick close that gap again. He's there again.
And they opened the gap on Kurt Busch in the 41.
Harvick and Busch just ran their fastest laps of the night.
Larry, that 11 car is the only car I've seen that can really keep its speed up and run the bottom line off turn 2. Even though Harvick's so good up high, 11 still got a lot of speed down low, but he looks like he pushes a little off turn 4, which lets Kevin get right up to his back bumper.
But he still carries pretty good speed off both ends of the racetrack.
Don't think Hamlin is going to give up the bottom groove.
It's going to be one of those deals where Kevin's going to have to force his way between the 11 and the wall off 2 over there if he's going to make the pass.
Kurt Busch 3rd, Jeff Gordon 4th, but not closing. Matt Kenseth 5th, Logano 6th.
Mike, listen to those throttles. I mean, they are not out of the throttle. They are just easing up and then right back after it. I mean, these 2 guys are racing, folks. They're not just racing for the win. They're racing for $1 million.
And just remember, we talked about it in the pre-race. Toyota Joe Gibbs Racing, they've never won the Sprint All-Star race.
You know one thing, I watched that 11 car tonight. They're not hurting for horsepower tonight, I can tell you. They got a good car tonight.
When they come to the line, 4 laps to go.
It's just going to be if the 11 makes a mistake and gives Harvick a chance. The guy that's been the best all year long on the mile and a half is hounding you right now. Don't mess up.
What would you do for $1 million? We're about to find out.
He got a pretty good run that time, a little better off turn 2, Harvick did.
Just can't quite get there. He needs a little bit more. He's going to have a little better run. He's going to look good here off turn 4, but that 11 keeps carrying that good speed.
3 to go. Brad Keselowski has passed 7 cars, but he is still mired outside the top 10.
It's going to have to happen right here off turn 2. If Kevin can make a run like that time he got up too high.
Well, Hamlin adopted Harvick's line and ran the middle through 1 and 2, and it worked for him.
I think the air off the 11 car, I think it took Kevin by surprise. Kevin Harvick in the 4 took him by surprise, and it allowed Denny to get away.
2 laps to payday.
I know we're not in Dover, but it's over, I think.
Yeah, that what happened to Harvick that last time through 1 and 2, I think that pretty much was the nail.
Yeah, it was. Denny Hamlin, what a great job his team and he did in winning the pole for this race, the pit stop and everything they did, and then to win the race tonight and give Gibbs their first win over here in the All-Star race. That's pretty impressive.
White flag, 1 more.
1 to go.
It may be remembered as the night that Brad Keselowski gave it away on pit road. It'll also be remembered as the night that Denny Hamlin hung on to that car with just 2 tires, got himself a great average finish, restarted with the lead in the final 10-lap segment. And for the first time, Joe Gibbs is going to victory lane. Toyota will go to victory lane, and Denny Hamlin has won the Sprint All-Star race.
Hey, All-Star, you just won our company $1 million. You are the man. Good job, pit crew.
Hamlin had finished 4th twice. He becomes the 21st different winner.
Thank you, Dave. Pit crew. God, you guys are the man. Thank you so much.
He entered the final pit stop in 6th, but the crew that put him on the pole got him out first.
Thanks for sticking with me this year. I really believe in you.
It is a contract year for Hamlin at Joe Gibbs Racing, and I think his stock just went up, about $1 million or so.
Oh, at least. What a great night for him all evening long. The qualifying, the job they did there, getting him out of the pits in the lead, the job they did there. It's just been a perfect night for that 11 car.
But I think everything, the way Denny Hamlin drove that car, the fire that Dave Rogers built underneath him, the pit stop, pit selection from qualifying on the pole, everything.
Denny Hamlin's going to light him up in Charlotte. Sunoco fueling victories.
Denny Hamlin, when you get clear of the smoke there, this is DW. You got a copy, buddy?
Can't hear you through all that smoke.
A little smoky in there, I'd say. Denny Hamlin, is it cleared up enough in there you can hear us, buddy? He's busy right now.
He is very busy.
Yeah. He ain't got time. Can't talk on the radio. I got to smoke these tires.
Burning down the house.
You know, he did almost a full half-mile burnout at Martinsville. Maybe he's going to try to do a burnout all the way down the front stretch.
I think that's his plan from when he turned around down there, you know, in the turns 1 and 2 and came down here.
Wonder if Bryson Burns will let him touch that $1 million now. Full post-race coverage coming right up here on Fox Sports 1. Thanks, Jay and Dan. What a night. What a couple of nights here in Charlotte. Great things happening for a couple of teams that really needed them. Roush Fenway gets into the All-Star race, so does Michael Waltrip Racing. And a Toyota had never won it. Joe Gibbs Racing had never won it. That's over. Denny Hamlin is $1.1 million richer. He is the champion of the Sprint All-Star race. Team patriarch Joe Gibbs, the coach, gets to celebrate. Team president J.D. Gibbs had been fighting some health issues. He is here. He'll be part of the celebration. There he is in the white shirt and the glasses. What a great night for Joe Gibbs Racing. How about a look at our 5-hour energy big move of the race, the final restart.
Yeah, Hamlin got a great start and the 41 didn't. Kurt Busch in 41 lagged back a little bit. Hamlin was long gone.
And that made all the difference. There's your 5-hour energy big move. Let's hear from some of the runners-up. Matt Yoakum with Kevin Harvick, who finished second.
Kevin Harvick made a great run on the 11 of Denny Hamlin. What happened with about 3 to go?
Yeah, well, he saw us coming there, and I was really good in the middle lane, but I needed all the air on the front of the car, and especially pushing there as hard as you can at the end. My car just took off up the racetrack and lost all the ground that I made up. But really proud of everybody on the Hunt Brothers team. I thank Jimmy Johns and Budweiser and Chevrolet for everything that they do for us, and just a really, really fast race car. I put us in a hole after qualifying, and a really fast race car was able to dig us out of it. So a lot of fun, just came up a little short.
One spot away from the $1 million.
Big difference between 1.1 and 200,000.
250.
Oh, 250 for second place. Yep. Now, in addition, Joe Gibbs Racing also had another big win. Kyle Busch back at the Speedway and finishes the race in 6th place. Chris Neville.
Well, Kyle Busch might not be in victory lane, but Kyle, after everything you've been through in the last 3 months, coming home at top 10, it's got to feel like a win.
Yes and no. I wish I would have beat my teammate for 5th, but no, we had a great race tonight. It was really, really good for us. This M&M's Camry was fast, and great job to Adam Stevens and my team. I was comfortable in the car. Everything worked well for me, and just felt like getting back into home. So it was definitely progress for what's going to happen next week, and for looking forward to being able to run 400 laps around here, 600 miles, and try to get a strong finish. We just got to minimize our mistakes. We didn't do that tonight. I sped on pit road. We had a loose wheel, so fortunately that was all in the same segment, and it didn't bite us twice. So a lot of consolation prizes for us in this 18 team. But appreciate M&M's, Monster Energy, Interstate Batteries, Toyota, all of our partners that's stood behind me through this whole process and made everything worthwhile coming back.
Kyle Busch, 6th tonight. Now, Denny Hamlin is parked in turn 2 behind one of the Sprint Cup safety cars as they set up the victory lane stage, which is right here along the front straightaway. Let's hear from Kurt Busch, who led a segment and finished 3rd. Matt?
Great run by the 41 team and Kurt Busch, but was the tone set for that final segment with the restart?
Well, we finished no worse than 5th in all of our segments. That put us in position for the pit crew to do their job. They did great. And we restarted 2nd, and we're gonna have to go to the tape and look at it and see if Denny went too soon. I was anticipating, the restart zone, which is right here. If you guys want to zoom in, it's right there. Check it out. It's in white with a lot of red lines on it, and his car went 2 car lengths before that, in my mind. But we got a podium finish thanks to Chevrolet, Haas Automation, Monster Energy. Is a great night. I mean, we didn't finish worse than 5th in any of our segments. We did our job, and I was asleep at the wheel on a restart.
3rd place for Kurt Busch.
Now, Brad Keselowski had to restart at the back because of that speeding penalty. He fought his way back to 9th. Chris?
Brad Keselowski came to pit lane first on that final stop, but a speeding penalty. Brad, you had to go to the back. Would you have had anything for the 11?
Oh, no. Whoever gets the clean air with this format and this rules package is going to drive away. We've seen that the last 3 years, and with this particular car, it's probably even more so. I thought the 41 and the 4 were, probably 2 or 3 tenths faster than everybody, but without clean air, it doesn't matter. So I knew when I came out of the pit stall and 11 was pulling out with me, I either beat him to that line or lose the race. And, the penalty was I was 0.3 of a mile an hour over the speed limit. But I told my crew chief I'd rather go down swinging than, take a strike and wonder what might have been. So I swung, we missed. 11 team did a great job, so congrats to Denny. Their pit stops were phenomenal, and easily won them this race, but they got a lot to be proud of, and so does my team. We just got to keep working to be better.
A lot of strategy, a lot of excitement, and a few penalties, and I agree with Brad Keselowski. Denny Hamlin's pit crew put him on the pole, put him in position to win, and Denny Hamlin did the rest. He is the Sprint All-Star Race winner, and Chris, he's about to get over $1 million.
Yeah, and Michael Waltrip on the grid walk earlier, this was the suit we wanted to keep an eye on. That goes to Denny Hamlin. I know you're part of the Toyota family, but you have Joe Gibbs. There's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame as a coach. He's of course won championships as a car owner. But special tonight, him starting the evening and having his driver getting his first win in the All-Star race, and Denny Hamlin's first as well, and an emotional moment for him and J.D. Gibbs, as Mike mentioned.
Well, certainly J.D. being here has to mean the world to that family, but these things are so hard to win, Chris. And Joe Gibbs Racing had never won the All-Star race, and it's been a bit of a struggle in 2015 for the Toyotas on the bigger tracks. They can put all that behind them now. The Toyota engines were very strong here at Charlotte. That means good things for the rest of the season. We couldn't really talk serious about Toyotas being real contenders for the championship until you got them the power on these big tracks that we saw tonight. Now that opens up a whole bunch of opportunities for that organization. I bet he's just overflowing with emotion.
You're going to put that money back in there, by the way. We've got to get this to Denny once they set up the stage. Yeah. Let's check in downstairs with Jamie Little.
Hugs all around for Denny Hamlin as he pulls into victory lane. Some happy people down here, all families from the pit crews. Family, mom, dad, Coach Gibbs. I think he's in amazement right now that he made it happen. Come on, Denny, come on out of there. Denny, you started on pole earlier, and you felt pretty good about the car, but you held on to it. Took 2 tires earlier. What does it mean to you to be an all-star champ?
So much. I mean, you want to win the Daytona 500, you want to win the Brickyard 400, you want to win the Coke 600, and you want to be an all-star. So can't say enough for this whole FedEx Express team. Everyone from Toyota getting their first all-star victory as well. Just a big day. Got to thank Michael Jordan and the Jordan brand, the Greenbrier, Coca-Cola, Sprint, and everything they do for this series. Just can't thank them enough. The Sport Clips, it's just an unbelievable experience. We just didn't have a car that was fast enough to run with those guys until Dave made that last adjustment, and of course clean air. But I mean, that pit crew, that's all I could say. They carried me all day long, and they got us this victory.
What is it like having a team like them? And Dave Rogers was on the radio. He was just talking you through it, saying this is the stuff that we dream of. What's it like having a team like that has your back?
Dave is a bit more of a cheerleader than I like at times, but he definitely ain't afraid to pump you up at times. So thanks to him. I mean, this is such a new relationship with me working with him, but these results really pay off. And thank everyone at JGR and the Fab Shop too, building this brand new car. This is a great thing, and hopefully we start to get some speed here down the road.
Denny, tonight is all about you and all about the team, but you get to take home $1 million. What are you going to do with it?
Well, I got a little daughter at home that would like to go to college, so let's save that for the college fund.
All right, without any further ado, let's bring it in. Karen Freitag from Sprint. Come on in, Karen.
Denny, you've etched yourself in history with the first-time win of the Sprint All-Star Race, along with Joe Gibbs Racing and Toyota. First-time win for all of you. It's my pleasure, on behalf of Sprint and all of our employees, to present you with the $1 million check.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Have fun cashing that, Denny. Congratulations, Denny Hamlin, the All-Star champion.
We all get nervous talking about that, having that much money in your hands. After that burnout, he's got money to burn, although he will spend it wisely. Denny Hamlin celebrating his first All-Star race in victory lane. We talked about Joe Gibbs, his son, J.D. Gibbs, president of Joe Gibbs Racing, who's been battling complications to the head injury, treatment for some symptoms there, but doing a lot better, and a happy moment tonight. And maybe the move of the race, and Denny Hamlin had to do a lot. It's interesting, we had 4 leaders and 4 different race teams lead throughout the night, but was going from first gear into reverse.
It was such an amazing job. We saw car after car slide through the pit and not be able to execute what Denny Hamlin did. While he was sliding through the pit in neutral, he was able to get that thing in reverse, and before it even stopped, backed up just that much. A backing up of a race car a foot is the key to Denny Hamlin winning this race. If he doesn't make that move, if he doesn't get that car back in the box, they don't settle on the pole, they don't get that pit box, they don't win the race. So the pit crew did their part, but Hamlin was amazing behind the wheel.
Only the 5th time in now 31 All-Star races that the pole sitter has won the race. An emotional night and a memorable night for what is the last All-Star race for Jeff Gordon in his 22nd All-Star race. Had his family out, Ray Evernham before, during the introductions, wound up 4th, and standing by with Jeff Gordon is Matt Yoakum.
4th place finish for Jeff Gordon, his final Sprint All-Star race. What are you going to take from this race into the history books as far as your final memories?
Well, certainly the introductions, seeing all the fans holding those signs, the 24 on it. Having Ingrid and the kids, my mom and my dad there was amazing. So, those were all surprises to me. I asked my parents, why are you guys here? I never see you driver introduction. So now I know why, and that was very, very special. It's something I'll never forget. And I'm glad that we had a really solid performance overall as a team. I'm really excited about that performance that we can take to next week's 600. I think our car is pretty good, and I think we can make it a little bit better.
Jeff Gordon, 3-time All-Star champion.
And the introductions, His family was there. He expected them to be there. Didn't expect his longtime crew chief. They had a lot of success together. Ray Evernham joining him as well. Fans cheering him, and some of the fellow drivers coming out with signs, 24, remembering all the great contributions Jeff Gordon through the years.
I'm just so thankful that I've been able to work side by side with Jeff Gordon on Fox Sports 1 on the Xfinity races. His passion for this sport, how much he enjoys watching the young guys race on the track, and how much he's been able to appreciate all the accolades that the whole community has given him. I know it means the world to him. The family there, Ray Evernham, it was a special moment here.
Chase Elliott taking over that ride next year. 4 championships, and he's not done yet. The final ride for Jeff Gordon could get a 5th this year. Let's get some final thoughts from the guys upstairs. They're calling another interesting all-star race with a lot of twists and turns to it, Mike.
Well, it was exciting, Chris, that's for sure. Darrell, Joe Gibbs has tried for 24 years to win this all-star race, and tonight it all came together.
Yeah, it did, and I'm really impressed. I know the Toyota guys have complained about horsepower. They don't have to complain anymore. No. 3 Gibbs Toyotas in the top 6, and what a great job by Kyle Busch coming back out here. First race back in the car, gets a 6th-place finish. But who's finished? You know, we always see, do you remember who finished second for the 2nd year in a row?
Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick. Another top 2 finish for that 4 car.
Larry, for about a year, they've been talking in the garage and on pit road about the Joe Gibbs Racing pit crews, particularly Denny Hamlin's. Talk about speeded up air wrenches, about trick tools. Well, they proved tonight in winning the pole and winning the race, talent and speed.
Well, and they've spent a lot more than $1 million on all that, I can promise you. But, you know, the drivers, they are our superstars. We see it week in and week out. But I think this is one night that we will look back. Yeah, Denny Hamlin did an unbelievable job. But Dave Rogers taking that head coach personality on. You can do this. You got to fight for it. But then Denny Hamlin hitting pit road outside the top 5 and to win that battle off pit road. Obviously, Mike, everything they've done as far as pit stops, pit crew members, air guns, it paid off tonight.
That last pit stop, 10.8.
Awesome.
They nailed that last pit stop.
Yes, I'd still like to know, looking at that car in victory lane, just how many lug nuts are on it. Chris.
All right.
So would Denny.
Sprint would like a look at that, too. It was a nice night for Sprint, for the fans, and the Sprint All-Star race, and they'll cut your rate plan in half. Remember, they remind you, bring your Sprint or Verizon phone or AT&T bill in, turn in your old phone, and they'll cut the rate plan in half. Go to a Sprint retail store or sprint.com/half price.
Well, I want to thank the fans for tonight. What an amazing experience it was down at driver introduction, all the energy down there from the fans. And I'm not rich, Chris. I need my rate plan cut in half, and I appreciate Sprint doing that for me, too.
Well, you can borrow some money from Denny Hamlin. Sprint thanks the fans, the great fans of NASCAR, those who watch week in, week out, and we're here in attendance tonight. You know, we talk about memories. I think we need to congratulate, you were with Steve Burns' son, Bryson, on the pre-race show, and Larry McReynolds, Brandon McReynolds, his son, winning the K&N East-West Series race earlier this evening.
It's just a big night for family. That's awesome for Brandon McReynolds. He's tried so hard to get to victory lane, been really close, and tonight he won one of the biggest races in K&N, and hanging around with Bryson was so special to me tonight.
Real quick, the 600 miles. Where did we go? 165 miles tonight. Jimmy Johnson won the race last year. A week from tomorrow, we'll be back here for that.
That seems to me like a real Matt Kenseth feel for the Coca-Cola 600. He's a smart racer. You got to be smart to win the 600. Look for Kenseth to be tough.
It's a team sport, but the individual driver, Denny Hamlin, gets his car in victory lane and celebrates his first All-Star win. For Michael Waltrip, I'm Chris Myers, our entire gang. Stay tuned. Plenty of highlights ahead on Fox Sports Live. Let's go back to Jay and Dan in Los Angeles.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.